Hello everyone, and welcome back to the New Book Review. Each week we'll be taking a look at some of the new books coming into the Prince George Public Library. If you're interested in taking out any of these books, you can head to our website to put a hold on the book, or come into one of our branches during our open hours to check them out. Each week we will either be looking at adult books or children's book, and this week we are looking at some great adult titles. We will also have some different faces coming in to review some books, so keep an eye out for your favorite library staff members. This week we are looking at a fiction title about a young girl from Trinidad making her way through the world, a new craft book for book lovers, and finishing it off with a memoir about a famous chef. Now without any further ado, let's look at some books. Our first book this week is Book of the Little Axe by Lauren Frances Sharma. In 1796, young Rosa Rendon quietly but purposely rebels against the life others expect her to lead. Bright, competitive, and opinionated, Rosa sees no point in learning how to cook or keep house when her talents obviously lie in running the farm she alone views as her birthright. But when her homeland changes from Spanish to British rule, it becomes increasingly unclear whether it's free Black property owners, Rosa's family among them, will be allowed to keep their assets, their land, and ultimately, their freedom. Sharma weaves a captivating tale in the Book of Small Axe. Small axe falls big tree. And this book did a great job of putting together small plots with rich characters that made for an unforgettable story. This might be the first book you read featuring a Trinidadian native that ends up living with the people of the Crow Nation. With a timeline that bounces between 1796 and 1830, the entire time you're reading, you'll be wondering, how did Rosa end up here? And the added thrill of how did the author make this happen? To see her timeline slowly and surely unfold is beautiful. This is an absolutely immersive and sweeping story, steeped in family and the meaning of home. For our next book, here is Laura reviewing Lit Stitch, 25 cross-stitching patterns for book lovers by Book Riot.
Do you like books? Do you like crafts? Do you sometimes wish you could put the two of those things together? Fear not. You need Lit Stitch, 25 cross-stitch patterns for book lovers by Book Riot. Book Riot is a website more commonly known for their Read Harder challenges, but with this book, you can challenge yourself to be more creative. Never cross-stitched before? No worries. It's one of the easiest and most cost-effective crafts to get started in. All you need is some fabric, some embroidery floss, and a tapestry needle. You can find all of those items at your local craft store or dollar store. Enjoy 25 quirky and cheeky sayings that you can use to decorate your bookshelf, give to friends as gifts, or inspire yourself to be more creative and to read harder. Some of the sayings you can create from this book are, I read dead people, treat your shelf, and stacks on stacks on stacks. Not convinced yet? Here's one that I'm working on. Wow! Cross-stitch is a great craft that is both creative and meditative, and you can easily cross-stitch when listening to an audiobook or your favorite podcast, or maybe when watching TV. So what are you waiting for? Let's get cross-stitching with Book Riot's Lit Stitch, 25 cross-stitch patterns for book lovers. That sounds like me.
Our last book for today is Eat a Peach by David Chang. In 2004, David Chang opened a noodle restaurant called Momofuku in Manhattan's East Village, not expecting the restaurant to survive the year. Then, in 2018, he was the owner and chef of his own restaurant empire, with 15 locations from New York to Australia. In this inspiring, honest, and heartfelt memoir, Chang shares his extraordinary story of his culinary coming of age. Over the course of his career, the chef struggled with suicidal thoughts, depression, and anxiety. He shied away from praise and begged not to be given awards. Chang's love of food and cooking remained a constant in his life, despite the adversities he had to overcome. In Eat a Peach, Chang opens up about his feelings of paranoia, self-confidence, and pulls back the curtains on his failures, struggles, and his learned lessons. Deeply personal and humble, Chang's story is one of tenacity and passion against the odds. Eat a Peach is not your typical fun chef memoir, but its importance cannot be overlooked. David Chang never tries too hard to be inspirational, but somehow that makes it even more so. And that's all the books we have for this week. Next week, we will be featuring some junior titles, so if you're interested in your next favorite storytime read or a novel for your middle grader, make sure to check it out. As always, if you want any more recommendations or just want to get a hold of us at the library, you can call us at 250-563-9251 or email us at ask@pgpl.ca. Thank you all for tuning in this week, and as always, make sure to check out these books.